Hello and
Put it
welcome to
like
the Dapper D's.
super skid. All right. Welcome to the Dapper D's, everybody. It's been a little bit, but we're back. I'm Dippy.
I'm Dadley.
And we're the Dapper D's, the only show where you're going to do some learning about scripting today. We are
Absolutely
officially pooped. We are burnt out.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has been going on, and we haven't been doing a lot of our shows. But I am always looking forward to Mondays for our show here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have finally brought a grueling job search to an end today.
Woo!
So I'm finally coming off of that, and I'm feeling a lot better about myself and my future. So hooray for me. But in the meantime, what's up?
Nothing. What about you?
Oh, he said, yeah. Oh, I thought he was like, hey,
Oh.
what's up?
Well,
what's going
on
on?
that note, Dippy, job searching. It's tiring, man. I do
God,
it. I
I'm
do it often.
exhausted. Literally,
you...
like I have no time to do anything that I love anymore. I'm just so drained of energy, and I don't have the energy that I need to do what I want to do for the rest of the day.
Well, lucky for you, the Dapper D's have a good friend in that department named Dubby.
Really?
Yeah, Dubby is an energy drink supplement that it's a powder you pour into water, and it's very tasty. It gives you all the caffeine you need without getting any jitters.
Oh,
Dono
wow. That's an extreme close-up.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Dono over here uses it as his pre-workout, and look at those fucking pythons. They speak for themselves. Look at that.
Those carpet bags.
Those fucking, look at those tree trunks. Oh, I forgot that you wanted to fucking do this. Okay.
What's going on?
Is this the photo you wanted me to react to?
Oh, this is still tied into the W advertisement. All right. Dadley, you look so frustrated.
I'm done with the ad. It's w.gg Anipod something 15.
Anipod at checkout for 10% off your next purchase.
Yeah. Dono hopped into this Zoom call and was like, I want you to react to a photo live. It's not dirty. And that was the only information. It's not dirty. It's not dirty. It's definitely hot. I just wasn't expecting the photo to be himself, first and foremost.
Wait, where is this photo? Where
he just sent it to me for some reason, and it makes it feel too
only
intimate.
to you. Okay.
I'm putting it. This is gonna be my phone background now.
This is my phone background.
You look great, Dono. Where are you? Where was this photo taken?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Why'd you take off your shirt at work?
Holy crap.
You look great, buddy. You look fucking great.
That's fantastic.
No, you fucking killing it.
That's actually really impressive, honestly.
It is. No, you've come a long way. Absolutely. Would you
but on that
me?
note,
I would fuck me.
Use code Anipod on Dubby for 10% off.
So,
and thank you to the wonderful channels, the wonderful family of Lo-Fi Girl channels for providing royalty-free music for any and all occasions. You just give them a shout if you're using them, and that's what we're doing here.
Hey, Donna, how about you up your gain a bit? On the microphone.
There you go.
Your gains are good on the muscles. What? What are you doing?
Excuse me.
Why are you
I don't know.
so
Why
quiet?
are you so quiet?
What's that?
Primal Goddess, hello.
Hello. Thank you, Primal Goddess.
End, so.
Why is Donna so quiet? So I was being heard. It's just I was really quiet. So I just fixed it. So
okay.
Thank you, Primal Goddess. I didn't notice it.
On that note, I have been wanting to do a series of episodes for a long time now based around a book I love, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. It is an amazing book on screenwriting and whatnot. We're going to be doing a whole movie pitching episode. I want to stress, none of us, sorry, 2/3 of us are not screenwriters.
You will find that I have a degree.
Yes.
I have a
degree and a thesis that would prove you otherwise.
I have a degree
I'm
of
more trying to
knowledge
get
within
at
this.
is,
That degree is a
everyone
diploma.
have fun with it, but don't do your best work. Because if a movie studio is like, we want that, we have to say no because of the fucking strike. So,
Exactly.
on that note, Save the Cat breaks down every single movie into 10 genres. Any movie you can think of, it fits into one of these 10 genres. Really quick.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Monster in the House.
Morbius.
Monster in the House again. Sorry, superhero. So, the categories are Monster in the House, The Golden Fleece, which sound Monster in the House is self-explanatory. The Golden Fleece, very much the hero goes on a journey in search of something.
Okay.
There you go. That ranges everything from Lord of the Rings to Rocky. Like, yeah. Out of a Bottle, the main character has one wish. That's kind of the vibe. You get your movies like Freaky Friday, Liar Liar, What a Woman Wants, The Scrooge, stuff like that. Dude with a Problem.
Dude with a problem.
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, Where's My Car is a great example. But even more like Die Hard or The Born Identity. Those are dudes with problems.
John Wick.
John Wick is a dude with a problem.
His problem is this fucking mafia killed his dog.
Rites of Passage. This is your coming of age tales and like just going on a journey in which you're expected to change. You got everything from Kramer versus Kramer, 28 Days Later, or American Pie. Buddy Love. This is where you have your romances, but as well as also like your Rush Hour and stuff like that.
Oh,
Buddy Love.
Got it.
Why Done It. He says why done it instead of who done it because of how many movies actually show you the who done it and you don't know why the fuck they did it. So the why done it's are everything from Mystic River to Basic Instinct and The Sixth Sense. The Fool Triumphant. This is like old school movie. You don't see a lot of these movies made anymore, unfortunately, but The Fool Triumphant is just, look at that wacky person. Wow, we want them to succeed. That's where you got your Legally Blonde, your 40-Year-Old Virgin, your Mrs. Doubtfire. Number 9, Institutionalized. This is like, we are all a group. The whole movie is, we are a group. That is where you got like American Beautiful, 9 to 5, The Devil Wears Prada, and MASH. I know MASH isn't
The
a movie.
Walking Dead be considered that because it focuses very
The Walking Dead would absolutely be institutionalized. And the last one is superhero, which everyone thinks of superhero movies. It even expands beyond that. You have movies like Peter Pan, The Matrix, Braveheart. Those are all like, hey, this one person is the focus and they are incredible. Like, so those are the 10 movie genres. I thought it would be fun to randomly get a movie genre, set a timer to see how, like, kind of put a constrictiveness on, like, okay, we got to get this done and see where it goes. If any of this sounds familiar, there is a podcast that is no longer around called Story Break that I love to pieces that has done something like this, very similar, but we're very non-structured. And I wanted to be like, no, let's do Save the Cat. So, as I said in the Game Changer episodes, the best ripoff. What the fuck did I say? The only difference between a ripoff and a homage is love of the original material. So,
yes.
Without further ado, how are we feeling about this?
I am excited because this is something that I've been meaning to look into. Like, I haven't bought Save the Cat yet, and I really need to. I need to look into it because I have mentioned on prior podcasts that I've written a movie. Like, I've written a movie. I know I have it ready to be made at a moment's notice as soon as I get either a government grant or a really wealthy person who's interested in Civil War movies. But I have to look deeper into the mechanics of storytelling and screenwriting in order to like make more movies. So this is definitely going to warm up chops in that respect, because I have a bit of formal education about it that I could pass on to you fellows as well, which is why I'm so interested in participating in this as well.
Yes.
It's gonna be a fun time, I think. This could be a podcast in and of itself, but
it could, yeah.
I don't know if anybody cares about my opinion, but I just like throwing out random ideas.
You do, Dono. You are an amazing storyteller, and that was part of the reason I'm like, I really want to do this, is because like your mind works very. How do I word this? You are very good at structuring this, and this can happen. We'll see where they go. And in a movie, it's more this, and this happens. So it is. You are very good storyteller, and this is a different medium for it.
And I will say, if I understand correctly, the best way to tell like a movie is this happens because of this, and that's where like everything has to work in within that structure, or else it just doesn't fucking work.
Yeah. And I will say on that, Dippy, the audiobook of Save the Cat is narrated by Blake Snyder, and it's really good.
I thought you were going to say a cat. So yeah.
It's narrated by a cat.
It's called, really quick, it's called Save the Cat because, like, the book not only talks about genres, but it talks about, like, screenwriting tricks.
It talks about how to write screenplays, like, how to effectively write screenplays,
One of the biggest tricks you can put in your screenplay is if you need a character that the audience instantly trusts, have them save a cat. That is it. That is like one of the big things he talks about, is the different tricks you can do and stuff like that. Have them save a cat. There's an Al Pacino movie that he talks about that's like the big example of this, of the save the cat moment. Is he's about to bust a bunch of drug dealers. They said like, hey, we're doing a free promotion. No, Al Pacino's a detective in the movie. They're about to bust a bunch of drug dealers. They did like a nationwide of like, hey, it's a free baseball day. But the only people that had the information was it was going around the drug ring. So a good amount of people that showed up for the baseball day would be drug dealers. And Al Pacino let one of the drug dealers go because he took his kid. And he said he didn't want to arrest him in front of his kid. And that was the save the cat moment. That's immediately how you trust somebody, is have them do a good deed very early in the movie. So on that, Dono, do you want to roll a 10-sided die to see what movie we're writing today?
I would love to. Let me just find a 10-sided die. Okay.
And while we're doing that, I will bring in my own perspective of this. Oh,
yes.
Go ahead.
I got 10.
That's a superhero movie.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So every time the like different story archetypes are mentioned, I always think of this picture that was made by an internet comic artist named Grant Snyder, who illustrated conflict in literature in its classic form, before like that is based on like the standard archetypes of modern storytelling conflict. And so you have these types of conflict which can fit into any of these genres of movies, obviously. And it's all based around the main character being named Man, and the conflict being something that man is against. And in classical times, before contemporary writing was set in place in the 17, 18, 1900s, and all these other revolutions of storytelling came about, you had basically three conflicts. You had man versus nature, which was a man is up against the odds of nature. It is up against the brute force of Mother Nature itself. Think 127 Hours, Revenant, that kind of movie in modern times. You have the everlasting man versus man. There is a hero and a villain.
Yes.
It is clearly laid out at the beginning of the story, and it is clearly laid out that by the end, one of them is going to win. And you also have man versus God in a very Christian ideal of there, or anti-Christian ideal of, if you want to think of it that way, of there being a higher power that is all controlling and all knowing and all seeing. The writing of the classical times was like, hey, what if not? What if one man had to contend with the power of a god? And you think of the only modern example I can think of that cleanly fits into that is Bruce Almighty, where Jim Carrey's character literally takes on the power of God to try and see like how difficult it really is.
I would argue Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson is a man versus literal gods. Like
no, but like that's very much like he's going against like deity and authority and whatnot. Basically just to make him pay child support. But
then the 1800s, 1900s come around, Industrial Revolution sets in, mass printing becomes a thing, and writers begin writing stories that fall outside of the classical archetypes. You have man versus society, a fairly new concept of the 1800s and 1900s, a society being that a man being put against his peers, but none of his peers know who he is. And the greatest example I've ever seen of man versus society is Joker 2019. And everyone needs who wants to be a screenwriter needs to watch Joker 2019 to see how man versus society is written in the most plain text. This is why this guy is a villain movie, because of all of the horrible shit that actually happens to Arthur Fring in Joker. No wonder he is what he is.
I still have not seen that movie yet.
It's good. It's good.
In a concept of man versus nature and man versus society being similar to each other, you then have the one-on-one battle of man versus self. A philosophical look, a philosophical take on a person introspectively wondering where they're at in life and if they are headed the right direction and if they're doing what they need to do in order to fulfill the quest that is their lifetime. You could think of something like Paper Towns or
I mean, the Fight Club has always seemed like the biggest
Fight Club Fight Club is a man versus self moment. You don't want to get it confused with postmodern, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Fight Club is an okay example. And then in modern times, an overlooked aspect is the amount of stories that were written in the counter to the counter of man versus no God. If a man's beliefs are challenged by the fact that there might not be something for his beliefs to withhold, what does he do with himself, and how does he combat it, or how does he prove it to be true? God's Not Dead, the movie, is kind of an example of this, where a truly devout Christian college student overcomes all the odds and shows his peers that he triumphs over the ideal of no God in his own story. But it's an example, and there are more examples like it in other religions around the world. And then you have the same three structures of one versus many, one versus one, and one versus the rest of the universe in postmodern with man versus technology. And the classic example of man versus technology has always been 2001: A Space Odyssey, with HAL 9000 given two separate orders in his programming to preserve life, but also to preserve the sanctity of whatever his other programming is. Man versus technology has been used in the current modern times, and think of the Matrix as well.
I am so glad I kept my mouth shut, because I so confidently was going to think I was going to say in unison with you, iRobot.
iRobot is also a phenomenal example, talking about Asimov's laws of robotics and challenging them. So in one-on-one, Fight Club falls more, in my mind, into the man versus reality conflict type, where a man is tackling with the very nature of the world around him being real or fake. The Matrix could slot into that as well.
Question: is Inception the opposite of Fight Club?
It could be. If you really wanted to believe that, sure.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Because Fight Club is outside perception, and Inception is the inward dream realm, knowing that it's not true, but being confused by it as well. They both have.
I'm gonna be real. I have seen Inception a good 5 times. I still don't really understand that movie.
That's okay. I don't think they understood it either. So
And in the true breaking of the final archetype of conflict, you have man versus author, which is where you get metatextual constructs being deconstructed before the reader's very eyes, or before the viewer's very eyes.
What's that
you can
movie?
Think of
with Jim Carrey in it.
There's so
The
many.
Mask.
No, it's where he's like a kid that's like grown up within a TV setting, and he's been broadcast.
Oh, the Truman Show.
Truman Show. That's like instantly my brain went to that. It's like,
instantaneous. Yes. And you can also, my favorite example is Stranger Than Fiction. Phenomenal movie, but all of these kind of collapse on themselves in terms of a movie will typically have more than one central conflict, but a story will possess one of these conflicts in one of the genres described in Save the Cat. So, looking at superhero,
yeah. All right. Really quick, I'll just read the little blurb about superhero.
Okay. I kind of have an angle already in my brain, but I don't know if it'll work.
All right.
So,
superhero. He's an extraordinary dude, or she's an extraordinary dudette who put onto an extravagant situation that only they can resolve because they are the superhero. In order to make superhero movies successful, it's important to showcase that it's difficult to be said superhero. It's difficult to be Peter Pan or Spider-Man, and you feel for the guys. Some go for the Bruce Wayne being Batman. Showing the suffering helps us bring a piece in reality into movie types that often feel surreal. And the examples given are Braveheart, Peter Pan, The Matrix, Casino Royale, any Marvel movie you have ever seen.
Yeah. All right.
So, and on that note, I will start the timer, and we can get right into it.
All right.
Boop.
So,
immediately.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Actually, you go for it because I'm eating. So you go for yours.
There's this thing that there's this what is it? Basically this happened within like the 60s or 80s with the Beatles. Is that there was this theory that happened that one of the Beatles members died, and he was
George
replaced. Not when like nobody really knew about it. And it was a government conspiracy to do it because they thought that if people found out, it would make people go wild and like suicide rates would go up, things would go fucking crazy. It's the idea of that there's something that is great that needs to be like stay that way, or else it's will ruin everything else. With the superhero movie, how about we flip it with the conspiracy of the hero being a problem? Kind of like the boys angle. Basically, I want to make a character that is like the hero, but is trying to show that the superhero, their powers, everything is affecting the world in such a way that it's actually bad.
This is Lex Luthor type shit.
Yeah. Basically, like, and we could run it as like Spider-Man with the bugle. Not being like,
essentially focus on the person that is calling out, no, the superhero is doing more harm than good.
Yeah, and it ends up being like we're
coming this
trying to stop him
Jonah Jameson, the movie.
I was thinking like somebody that people can relate to, like just a small time individual that like found something, and it's just like this needs to be said, and everywhere that they go, it can't be. It's like people are just like, you need to not do this.
So.
Now this could not be this could be like it's not a superhero movie.
No. I can make this a superhero movie very fast.
Okay.
Of what if the reason they know, oh, the superhero is doing bad, is something happens. Like they're obsessed with the superhero. They've been out trying to get photos and researching and whatnot. Something happens that our main character also gains the powers and starts seeing all this negative shit going on around them.
Ooh, like Nightcrawler, where kind of like it's not exactly. What if it's like the power isn't obvious, but you know that they're getting, like they suddenly begin like having this ability to process information in such a way that's just like they connect the pieces and they aren't realizing that they're falling into, into a superpowered thing.
I say we go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Like,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Anyone else getting Chronicle vibes from this description?
Oh,
yeah.
Chronicle was a good movie. I thought it was a
was.
very interesting way of doing a movie and how it was handled.
I will say my first thought with this was like the world knows there are some people out there that have superpowers, and rich and elite have been just like use it not in like a trafficking way, to be clear, like for like they're paid salary workers for the rich and elite. Like somebody who can teleport is now like the like idea of a private jet of like, oh yeah, I got Gerald brings me to France every morning for beignets and like shit like that. And one of them is just like, I just want a vacation, man.
So the Incredibles 2 subplot?
Kinda?
So on-call hired superheroes?
Yeah. All right, maybe not.
I was thinking more of like it's a sorry. I
don't think it's a bad think it's a bad thing, but it's definitely
a
concept
I didn't really
that
hammer
could be
away. So
explored more.
basically it's a passive thing. Like the superhero isn't meaning to do something wrong. It's just because of the existence of the superhero, it causes problems to be happening that people aren't noticing. And it's like the idea of global warming. You don't really notice it until it's actually fucking happening, and then it's too late. It's somebody getting that information to like before it does. You know?
How do we knuckle that down into something like something that we can see though?
It's the struggle of the individual trying to go, Dippy.
At this stage, if you have a basic idea, the very first thing that you need to come up with before you continue with anything else is a what if question.
Yes.
And this question cannot be longer than one sentence. It can be a very long, complex sentence, but it can only be one sentence.
Okay.
All right.
For instance, the what if question of my movie is, what if two soldiers who never wanted to fight in the Civil War helped each other escape it?
Yes.
Or for something as simple as
what if a bear wanted marmalade?
Yeah, what if a bear wanted to make friends? Yeah.
What if a cat just wants some lasagna?
Yeah, exactly. What if a cat just wants some lasagna, man? But you can also very slightly twist these questions into like more direct questions to a viewer.
Yes.
But as long as it is still in the form of a question where the answer is the plot of your movie.
So, with all the ideas we've pitched out, I do think the question would be, what if you got powers and hated it?
Ooh, I like that.
What if you got superpowers and hated it?
What if
ultimately it became such a hindrance to you that it's just like, what's the point of having this? You know?
I like it, and I have an iPhone Note idea in my phone that might fit into this. So I'll pull it up on my phone and I'll very quickly describe it to you. It might not fit into the idea of this at all.
Yeah.
But it's something that I've had written down for a very long time in my random idea pad. So here's exactly how I wrote this idea on my phone.
Okay.
Immunity Man. Now, a hero who is immune to everything. The effects of psychosomatic drugs, the chemical compounds of nerve toxins, and everything in between. He has the strength of a weak 12-year-old and the mind of an average college graduate, but the physical constitution of an omniscient being. Because of this, he's often called upon to scout into areas of poisonous gas, nuclear fallout, oil fires. Oh, did I mention he is immune to fire, aka fireproof? So this man just is called upon by the people of his city to do these things, and he cannot stand doing them because no one else around him in these situations are immune to the things that he's immune to. So he's the one that sees like the charred skeleton in the fire. He's the one that sees the melting flesh in the acid pit. He's the one that sees the bodies lying unconscious on the ground in a gas attack, but he doesn't feel it because of his powers.
This gives me like, I love this type of superhero where it's just kind of like, I have this power, I have a duty. I wish I didn't, but I'm gonna fucking do it anyway. And it's that like internal dread of just like, no matter what I do, I'm stuck here. Might as well do something about it, but I'm still gonna fucking hate life the entire way through.
Yeah.
It gives me Mr. Immortal vibes. It gives me it's like a dreadful Darwin from X-Men, which if you know Darwin is like
Darwin is so
by the way,
cool.
bullshit way that he dies. Bullshit, like he shouldn't have died. In my headcanon, he hasn't died. He just survived by turning into dust. And he's reformed somewhere else.
Yeah. The power of adaptability is such a fun concept.
He just got Thanos like years in advance.
All right, so superhero doesn't like his powers are his day job pretty much. It's his 9 to 5, and he just is so happy to clock out of work.
Yeah.
I like the idea of immunity man a lot. I'll be honest. I think that's really fucking funny.
Yeah.
I do.
He's just like Beanpole.
Yeah.
He's just this, like I imagine Stephen Merchant.
I have to look up what that is.
6'8", like 175 pounds, thin as a rail, got a little bit of a brain in him, but not like a super smart brain. Like not a hyper genius brain.
He's smart enough to know that this is bullshit.
you like light him on fire and he just stands there and burns, not feeling anything, not doing anything about it.
He knows this is bullshit.
So it's not, and it is not a lack of pain, because it isn't a lack of pain, because he can still feel pain, like emotional pain, or mental pain. But like he's been tempered by a lot of it happening in his life.
Yeah.
And I imagine the turnaround for him is that something finally hurts him in a way that he never anticipated it would.
I have that.
Something actually happens to him. Like it could just be like that he's walking along one day and he gets like shoulder checked by a guy and he's like, that hurt a lot more than it usually did. And he looks back and this guy is just this mysterious hooded figure, or this or he's just walking along and like, or he's carrying like a case or something. And like the area where the case hit him is the area that like he gets a tiny bruise, but he wouldn't normally get a bruise because like he's also not like omniscient in that he knows everything that's going to happen to him. So he's still caught by surprise by stuff, but his immunity means that he doesn't normally get bruises.
His weakness is that he's just a dude.
Yeah.
I love the idea that like nothing has like ever punctured him or anything like that.
Yeah.
And like he's called in for like a certain job and he walks into the room and he gets a splinter on his foot or touches the wall and gets a splinter on his hand. And that's something's not right here.
Yeah. Like, getting a splinter in his hand is great because it's an annoying problem too.
Yes.
And it doesn't immediately go away because he doesn't know how to like.
Yes.
What if because of his powers he gets stuck with a splinter? So it like just becomes part of him. He's just like,
like he has to find out what weakened him to give him
his
the splinter.
His powers activated the moment that he got a splinter and he couldn't get it out. So he's just fucking. That's just...
maybe not activated for the first time because I imagine that we meet him. I imagine
like,
like he's already set as a superhero. We aren't doing like a prequel of like what's going on. No. It's just
the exposition of a superhero always comes after the first scene you see them as a superhero. Think about the Deadpool. Think about Deadpool. Think about like Spider-Man sequels at the very least. Maybe not the first few Spider-Man movies, but think about Especially Deadpool. The first scene in Deadpool is Deadpool doing Deadpool things, and then only after this fight on the freeway do you learn why Wade Wilson is Deadpool. Like,
yes,
I imagine the first visual in my head of Immunity Man is this guy, this like scrawny little fuck. Just like the camera is panning down on a burnt out building. This guy is standing here like perfectly fine, and his shoulder is just like on fire. And he hasn't bothered to put it out yet. And like, just because he's immune to things doesn't mean his clothes are immune to things either. So like, I also imagine like a piece of the rubble is sticking up in front of his like form.
Yeah, he's ass naked.
Yeah. And he's like,
he's not exactly like, there's people that love him, but it's a cult like thing. It's like, it's not a family.
Oh, that
it's
would
not
be
like
its
a
own,
household. Yeah. It's like every.
Right.
I would like to imagine that his fan base, like he's got way too many crazy fans over like normal ones. So he's just like, please stop interacting with me.
So let's pull back for a second. We got Immunity Man. What's it? All right, we need a name so we can stop. Dippy, you have a good name for us for this guy.
Yeah.
I'm also imagining him being like early 30s. Like he's been doing this for like 5 years now.
Oh, yeah, like he's established within his career. Now, he's not exactly happy about it, but it's paid.
This is the point where I look you dead in the eyes and I say I haven't watched the series on Amazon Invincible yet.
Oh, good show.
Oh,
and
that's good.
I know that in Invincible, our main guy is like, invincibility is like his power, and that's why his dad like beats him up to the point of like death.
It's not. Nah, it's.
There's more to it than that.
There's more to it.
There's more to it than that, sure. But he survives, and he doesn't have control over his other powers, but he has other powers.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has a good grasp of it. He's still growing.
Yeah, in a very like Marvel-esque approach, where a lot of people just have one power and that's basically it. Like, you have a bunch of superheroes with one power instead of one man with a bunch of powers.
Yeah.
In DC, for example, like Superman has so many fucking powers.
Yes, he does.
Like, it's not even funny how many powers Superman has.
So you're going more My Hero-esque than otherwise, because in My Hero you have one quirk. It's just you can grow that quirk to be able to help you do
different things. You learn to get creative with it.
Yeah.
Immediately, I see that his last name has to be Carver because he can't. Like...
Oh, I love that. Yes. Like,
honestly, this guy gives me Chandler Bing energy, and I'm here for that.
Oh, see, I imagine this dude just kind of like sulking, kind of sat shoulders down. I'll go in the fire. All right. What do you need me to do?
I don't want him to be like this sulking, mopey, depressed,
okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
person.
That would be too
for the whole
Mr.
movie.
Mortal.
Yeah, because like the idea of him like he's not immune to emotions.
Yeah.
He's not impunitive of human emotion like some sociopathic person or some like alien being. Like, he understands happy, sad, neutral, angry. Like, and he feels all of these emotions in the process of doing this, and like he tempers his fears and his, whatever it is.
I feel like he's the type of character that has like the man struggle of just like, I shouldn't show emotion because that's like my thing. Like, if I show that it hurts, then people aren't going to be able to believe in me as much.
Which actually, I'm kind of on board for that, because that would be like a big thing for him of like, oh no, like I don't get hurt. I don't get hurt. And then like the next thing we see is,
and it's like bullshit.
Well, like I would we cut from like the fire and him, like I imagine a cigarette in his hand for some reason, him lighting a cigarette on the wall and be like, I can't, it doesn't do anything to me, because he's immune to the toxins in it.
I like the word indemnity for his like superhero name.
Indemnity.
Double indemnity. Well, you've heard of, is that a movie or is that something else that I'm just thinking of? Is it it's turn of phrase? What is it? It is a movie. Double indemnity.
Yes, it is.
What's something human that he can like? Here's an idea, just for something that he struggles with, or that's like just happens to him. Because I feel like with this character, something bad is just gonna happen. that's not like terrible, that's world changing, but it changes his world. What if his like girlfriend breaks up with him because seems so like he seems so cold? It's like
This is exactly what I was about to do.
Yeah.
I think immediately after the scene we get with the fire is him on like a first date complaining about his day at work, but trying to do it kind of like loose around of like, oh, you know, it was real hot in the building.
It was a
today.
Scorcher today.
It was a scorcher today. A lot of. And like we keep cutting back and forth between the date and the fire. Of like I had a lot on my plate as you see him just like pointing to firefighters of like over there, there's somebody over there, like because that I will totally admit that is an idea I had a long time ago. Was like going on a date with someone who is secretly an apprentice for the devil.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
I've had this idea of like a dumb sketch of somebody sitting there being like, my boss, Lucy. Oh, what a real hard ass. They,
so basically,
really
Renfield?
scorch your ass if they don't.
Dadley, do you mean Renfield, the new movie with Nicolas Cage?
Good movie. I had this idea since high school. A good movie. I just watched it not too long ago.
I haven't.
It was
seen
okay.
It yet,
Actually, now that I say it,
it sounded like a good. It's
Okay,
very
so
Nicolas Cage movie, is what it seemed like.
not enough Nick Cage.
No.
Okay.
It should have had more to be more towards what it needed to be. You know. Okay.
So we have.
I love. Can I just say I love that
new...
Nick Cage. If you like when he goes to like work, that one thing that you can ask him to do is just like, we need you to be more Nick Cage. He's like, got it. He got it. Like he knows that he's got like his own thing, which is like fantastic because it's not like it's Nick Cage is just like he's got his own fucking vibe. And he's just like, I get it. I'm just gonna embrace it because I know that's what I'm bringing to the table. It's a great mindset to have as a person.
All right, so we have a superhero immune to everything.
Okay, and so I have here for you, gentlemen.
Yes.
There is a tagline. I'm gonna go ahead and just make these cards for these things that we need. I can't share my screen. Will stream still hear the music if I share my screen? No.
As long as you don't have your audio shared, it should.
We'll stop the other participants' computer sound share. Whoops. Nope.
Nope. Don't do that.
Okay, so
I
don't know how I'm gonna do this. Then hold on. What stream is it? The synthwave
is.
Yes.
Let me just start playing it on my end, so the transition is seamless. There's
the link.
Oh, thank you. I forget we have the power of the internet.
We aren't cavemen. We have technology.
So we'll start playing this, and then I will.
Can I just say, like SpongeBob, it's just gold, my guy. It's
oh my god, yeah.
It's such good entertainment.
Okay. I've also paused the timer while we set this up.
Sure.
Freaking SpongeBob originally being like an adult show makes so much sense to me. After watching it again, it's just like, oh, there's so much like adult to like into child humor.
Oh, yeah, gold doubloons, don't drop them, and it's just soap.
Doubloons.
The freaking swearing episode where they're like, it's the dolphin noises, the sailors mouth.
And
they actually had to swear during it to make it work.
So, you have I need to turn this down.
There should be a charity event where people raise money to be able to have that like released into the world.
Also, is there a way to make our faces big and the things small, or do we want like the note cards big?
I don't know.
Also, Dippy, turn on audio sharing as well so we can still hear the music.
Shit!
It's okay. It's okay.
I always forget. There we go. Always forget. There we go. So, you have your three, before you write anything else, questions are the tagline, the log line, and the what if question. So the what if question is, what if
you got
a man? It's not you. The movie isn't about you. It's about it's about Carver. About what's a good male first name? I have the list here. Hold on. Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Frankie.
Frankie. That's Frank with an E.
Yeah,
The
Frank
silent
E.
Frank E. Carver.
Frank, and then
Frank-
there's a couple guys that call him Frankie.
Yeah, his best friend. Okay. What if
Frank?
What if Frank? What if Frank? Okay. So we actually shifted a little bit from when we from the initial question of what if you got superpowers and hated it. We actually shifted to what if Frank is losing his powers?
Yes.
And doesn't know what to do about it.
Yes.
So that's our what if question, unless we want to shift direction.
What if he's happy that he's losing his powers?
That's
I feel like that would be the yes.
Like
that's a better what if question.
Like, what if Frank wants to lose his powers?
What if Frank wants to lose his superpower? And remember, he only has one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't have any of the other ones.
It's a dope power.
He doesn't have
it's a great
intellect.
power.
It's a dope power, but he only has the one.
He's gonna live for like
what
ever.
if Frank wants to lose his superpower?
That could be like a complex for him too. It's just like gonna live forever, and at least that's what the theory
My
is.
backspace isn't working? Excuse me? My backspace is...
Make sure you don't have
spell
working
everything correctly.
Hey Dippy, do you not have dyslexia?
That's
my backspace
weird.
is not working. My
Try your
enter
other
key is working.
Should we go to break because we have technical
No. Hold on. Just
Whipped cream.
Sorry. My arrow keys aren't working either.
You probably have something that's clicked on your lock or whatever. That's keeping you from being able to use that side of your
Numlock, scroll lock, caps lock. Oh,
you figured
now
out?
it's working for some reason.
Hey, look at that.
My arrow keys still aren't. Oh god, liquid nitrogen going everywhere.
This is
Woo! Cold keys.
let's make him hot.
I think we need like
All right,
for character. Yeah, for character wise, we need his like. I feel like he needs a roommate. I feel like this is a grown. I feel like he needs a roommate.
Yeah, but how many heroes do you know that have roommates? Honestly,
like
there's quite a few.
I feel like this is the guy that's just like someone walked into his house and he's just like, you know what? Whatever. It's not like you're gonna be able to kill me, and he just lives there. Like it's just like he let in a homeless guy once, and the homeless guy ended up being cool. Oakley.
What if the roommate?
Oakley is
What if
such
the
a
roommate
good
was
name.
the Oakley?
Yeah, I saw Oakley back there.
Oh.
Oakley seems
What-
like such a
so-
good name of just like it could be just. What if it's like, okay, here's the like good thing. This is his good thing. Oakley is a trans nut kid that got kicked out by their parents.
I see where you're going. I stress this to every audience member who sees this. Don't offer a child to live in your house.
It's not like it's young student whatever. It doesn't have. I'm not.
Don't offer children to sleep in your
Don't
house.
do that.
Please
don't do that.
Don't
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
But like he's got like a previous.
Even if you
relationship
are a
with this individual.
superhero.
How about it's his like nephew?
Got it. That's. You know what? That's better.
His nephew is crashing with him. No, hear me out. His nephew is crashing with him for the summer because like right off to college and whatnot. He has an internship at like wherever. I'd assume this takes place in a city because not a whole lot of fires happen in the country.
I forgot that they're doing that. They have Nick Cage in Dead by Daylight now.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry.
His nephew is living with him, and his nephew is like the first one to start bringing up and being like, "You're not like bored or anything of this? Like you're okay, buddy?" Like
I feel like the nephew doesn't think that he's cool.
I feel like there needs to be a young soul around to be
Oh
like,
my
hey,
God.
man,
Listen.
like,
What if it's like the Gen Z millennial thing where like the Gen Z is just like, dude, you gotta take care of your mental health. Like he's checking in with him. Yeah, being like, hey, how you feeling? This is like, dude, you gotta express yourself or else you're just gonna
I'm trying to think.
It's not
I'm trying to think of the humanizing. Ooh. I'm trying to think of like the humanizing thing here.
Is it just him?
Is it just him? Like, is it just him on his own like self journey of like maybe I don't want these powers anymore, or is it someone else kind of like, hey, you're not looking good lately, like, you know what I mean?
Maybe it's like a
oh, good lord, why is my backspace key not working? I don't understand.
It gives me vibes of like that self-discovery type thing,
and now
or
it
like
works.
trying to figure.
There you go.
Why?
It's like,
why does it now work? Okay.
Here's me back to like a Jim Carrey movie,
yeah.
the one where they like lose their memory and then end up being back together. It's
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah. It gives me like, it's that vibe of a movie where it's just kind of like this is the character trying to make them like just be okay with where they're at.
Immune to all natural effects and conditions.
Oh, I got it. He wasn't prepared to have his nephew. And that's like the humanizing thing of him, like, have been living this life by himself and just kind of chilling, like content with what's going on and whatnot.
See, but are we coming out of the superhero genre at all with that? Like the superhero, only Frank Carver, Immunity Man, can solve the problem that drives the conflict.
So
and
that's it.
The problem being that he's losing his powers and he doesn't know if he's happy about it or not.
Because the conflict or the problem will end up revolving around this kid.
What if the kid gets sick?
He needs a blood transfusion.
And that's how, and to bring it back to Donald's idea, that his blood, not to be all vampire-y about it, but his blood gives the kid like immunity powers. So, but the immunity doesn't stop the sickness. It just like
it stops all the medication.
It makes it so that it makes it so all the medicine doesn't work.
He made like a bad call.
And the kid dies.
I feel like that's too sad.
Would be the plot. That would be the greatest. Like, he needs to lose his powers, or
in order to give the blood transfusion safely.
Yeah, he has to find a way because he's the only one that can.
I don't know.
No, not a blood transfusion. It has to be like an organ that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I gotta think like this character.
Because anyone can donate blood.
Yeah, I gotta think like this character. Like needles don't work on him. He can't be cut. He can't be. Yeah, like he can be set on fire.
Well,
but it's like his
it's also not. That's also not how I envisioned immunity, because you're not immune to being stabbed. No one is. Like stabbing is a common.
So what? He can walk through fire, but he can't like stop a blade from piercing his skin.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, he can maybe be like bulletproof. Like bulletproof, I think of the words like fireproof, bulletproof, like inflammable, you know.
He's not dog-proof. Dog bites still hurt.
Yeah, dog bites are annoying.
My thought process is that he still feels like the pressure of it. It's like with Wolverine.
Yeah.
He still feels the
it's like a numbing agent,
out.
but it's like a natural numbing agent where his brain doesn't process it as pain, he just processes it as an annoyance. But he's also like, he's immune to it. So
Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah, actually.
I haven't seen that movie, but I would almost.
The kid ends up losing all of his pain.
The whole thing of Kick-Ass is just he can't feel pain. Like that's all.
All natural effects and conditions, but not.
Yeah, he can get the shit kicked out of him, but he doesn't feel the pain of getting the shit kicked out of him.
Necessarily.
This is one of those like situations where this is technically an Omega level, like hero, but put in like this is their daily life. It's what you do with like really high end like things that can take on not like big problems, is that you humanize them.
We need to get to why does he want to lose his powers?
Yeah, we need to do that too, yes.
My first thought is just that he wants to lose his powers so he can stop doing this shitty job.
What if he wanted to be like a lawyer or something like that?
Because
he wants to what?
What if he wanted to be like a lawyer or something? Like he's just like, I didn't want to do this. He's the one guy in the world that doesn't
My
want
dream
powers.
is to be a dentist.
I was just about to say a pediatrician.
He's the one guy that doesn't want to have powers, and he had an opportunity outside of like this.
Now that's another thing to establish too. Are there other superheroes in this world?
Ooh.
Because a lot of these superhero movies are either they are the only one with superpowers, or they are one of a million people who have superpowers.
Yes, I would say.
I feel like this is. Oh, sorry, go.
Oh, by the way,
say like no. That's why it's him.
Yeah, tagline needs to be one sentence, preferably shorter than 10 words.
What if there's like a scene where it's just like, so we're gonna send you in to go defuse this nuclear bomb. This here's your piece of paper, and it's just it's just like, I don't know if I'm like prepared like to be able to do this. Like, no, you just gotta cut this one wire. Are you sure? It's like, yeah, and all radio communications is gonna be gone. It's just like,
okay. Going back to characters and whatnot, instead of like a I'm trying to think of what humanizes him. What if he just has
Oakley Whitcomb person?
I love the name Oakley Whitcomb, by the way. I love that.
Yeah.
What if like it's just his connection of like the like his handler, almost his bridge between like the FBI or whatever is sending him on his missions. Of,
to
like,
bring it back to like a paid superhero type thing, like
yes.
why are people asking Frank Carver? Because Oakley Whitcomb is his agent, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Pivotal character. Quote, superheroes
guy in the chair.
Agent. Superheroes agent.
Hey buddy, I got a new job for you. You're up for it, you're ready to go. You're gonna be great for it.
I feel like it I like that. I don't feel like that'd be family.
Yeah, no, it's not family.
Yeah.
No, we're moving away from that.
Okay, so Oakley is no longer family. He's just
he's definitely
not but like I think it's gonna be
Are we okay with him having the superhero name Indemnity?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Honestly,
that seems like a really fun word.
I got the vibe that he doesn't need a superhero name, and he might even be like, why the fuck do you keep calling me that? And be like, oh, it's a code name, buddy. The military code. They don't want Russia to know about you. Like,
that's his fan base
or
name?
Like people call him Indemnity in public and they're like, how do you know that name? And then he remembers, oh right. That's the new story, huh? Like, helps Indemnity get paid?
Yeah,
we're assuming he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Paid. Get work.
He fills out all the government paperwork.
What?
And takes care of the paperwork out.
They literally
takes care of the pen and paper.
First scene that you see him in, it's just like, dude, fuck the government and all this paperwork. Like, God.
Do you know they made a new form just for you?
It's like, and nobody can teach me how to fill it out correctly. Nobody.
All right.
There's like, they put one person in charge, and this person's a fucking idiot. I'm so done. And it's like, but we're getting paid. But it's like the money's so good that they just bitch and it's fine.
He's tired of having it. He wants to solve. He wants to solve a problem without them.
Yeah, I like the idea of him wanting, like, Dono, I know you said a lawyer as a bit, but I love the idea of like him being like, you know, there's other, like, I can solve problems without this power, right? Like,
yeah,
like I love the idea of him just I just want to go back to school. Like,
it's like
he's required to lose them to save someone personal.
Maybe.
Or save his relationship.
Wants to lose his power because he discovers a way to, when he thought otherwise, because that brings it back to that circles thrown into this whirlpool of ideas is that like something like weakens his immunity, he gets something, and then he's stuck with that thing because he gets his power like right back.
Yes.
And
I love
he's like,
yeah.
Frank wants to lose his power because he has a splinter.
I actually think that's really good, not to get too into it, really good symbolism for the end of the movie. Like, that's so letting go of, like, finally you just get the shot of the tweezer and just finally
and he like gets it out.
Like, yep.
And he's like, and then he's like, punch me. not that hard. Because he's not immune to being punched, but it softens the blows. Yeah. So like he's immune. So like he's not immune to being punched or being stabbed or being shot. He's bulletproof. But that doesn't mean he doesn't feel anything.
It's like the dude that isn't exactly a superhero but has super like athleticism.
Right.
That superhero.
Okay.
But kind of. It's his immune system.
Well, he's also. My original idea was that he's not like super athletic or strong to begin with.
No, like this is the example of like a different type of hero that's like this. It's the concept of a guy that's just like, oh, I'm not as fast as the Flash, but I can go like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, I run a 3440.
I mean,
a 3440.
I mean, I can do a 5K in 5 minutes. That's fucking like it's impressive, but
wow, that seems like it would be impressive. Wait a second.
But like the Flash can do it in like 2 seconds, or in 0.5 milliseconds. So it's just
any other characters immediately coming to mind?
He has to
I feel like there should be a love interest. This might just be me that I'm a sucker for love interest in movies.
I don't.
It's okay to veto it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Wait. What if the love interest happens to be like an undercover agent? It's just to make him happy.
Oh no! Why do you keep going back to such sad shit?
Because people react to sadness.
People react to everything. That's
why
just
are you going
reactions.
to do the old female names? This person's like 30.
No, the old being that the way that this list is generated has an old algorithm and a new algorithm.
Oh, okay.
The old algorithm is mainly English names. The new algorithm is any human name.
Ah, got it. Okay, cool.
Which I'm not intentionally like discounting this list because of like reasons.
We're Americans. We know American names. We're gonna butcher all those on the screen.
I will also say one of the best pieces of advice that any writer will ever receive is write what you know. You can venture, and if you learn about something and you feel like you know it, then you can write about it. But you shouldn't. And you see this with movies that pander to audiences, movies that pander to audiences, movies that include somebody just to include them and don't actually have like any depth to their character or their story or their want. Like
we should put in a sibling. Here's the thought. I'm seeing
he should have a sibling. I think he should.
I think the sibling should be an FBI agent that like works as just like, hey, you can't fucking do that to him. Like he has to have a support system of people that actually give a shit about him, you know, because the government will not care.
FBI agent, well, there you go. If FBI agent Lizette Carter.
Yeah, sure. His sister.
Sister, government agent.
Like, she's working in this. She could have been doing something else, but they put her in charge of this because he's family. It's easier that way. He'll actually listen to her.
My brother's keeper.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Sister, government agent, my brother's keeper. Lessens the impact of events on Frank's life.
Yeah, I feel like
like I can see like a board meeting and like people being like, oh, we could send Frank in to go look for the landmines. He'll be fine. And she's like, we have dogs for that now. Like, we don't need to send Frank for everything.
Like they want to overwork.
That brings up a good point too. We have dogs for that now. What time period is this?
Yeah.
Is this the 70s, the 80s? Is this in the future? Is this contemporary? Present
this
day?
was like right now. Like
present day?
Oh yeah.
It could be. Although I do kind of like the idea that in a world where I do like the idea that in a world where superheroes they may have already existed and people were writing comics and stories about them, but in a world where they're still a rare commodity, where the idea comes about that these heroes can be commodified. Like you can hire these heroes to do these things for you. So that answers the question of, is he's the only one in his immediate area, but he's not the only one in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That doesn't mean he has to meet any
like,
other superheroes in this movie.
I feel like
Correct.
all heroes, like all the heroes, should be more like C-less level of powers than.
Yeah, none of them are like Superman.
Like there's no A-list.
Yeah, no.
Like there's
exactly.
no. That's why there's still government. That's why there's still
FBI agent Lizette Carter,
individuals.
sister government agent, my brother's keeper, lessens the impact of events on Frank's life and might be on the edge of her wicked
It keeps
cousin.
from like super crazy shit like Godzilla showing up and whatnot. It makes it so it makes sense. Like, oh, there's a bad guy that literally can just wipe people's memory of him, or something like that, or like he makes it so they forget the next 10 seconds.
I lost the use of my friggin'
Oh no.
backspace again.
Maybe it deals with when you like click onto a new one. It could be a setting within like those things.
Whoa, that's weird. Oh, my print screen brought up. Whoa!
Wow. Did Dippy just freeze?
Oh, I think Dippy just froze.
Oh no. I think his computer's shutting down.
Oh no.
Oh no, Dippy.
Dippy.
Dippy. No.
Oh,
hello?
I hear the music
Hey!
again. Hello. Welcome back.
Am I back? Am I back? Am I
Welcome
back?
back to the Dapper Ds.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Dapper Ds.
What's up?
Okay. Sorry about that. That was a little weird. Continuing onwards. Uh-oh. Oh no. What happened? Oh, there we go. Ah, okay, you can actually...
Oh,
ah, how fun is that? Okay, there we go. Frank!
I like the idea that within his group of people, like his individuals that like he trusts and just are in his life, like they're all people that have forced themselves into his life. He's not the type of guy that's going to keep people around, but it's not unless they make an effort. I feel
How's that for a
Not all
tagline?
powers. That's pretty good. That is pretty
Not all
good.
powers are wanted?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, with that,
That's a pretty...
I had the opposite idea of like I don't see him being that like a social butterfly or anything like that.
Mm.
But I feel like he needs like because everything we've talked about right now is like been around work. I feel like even if it's just like a scene or two throughout the movie, he needs a hobby. Like he does like cribbage once a week or something like that. Like
cribbage.
He is a
Oh my god.
On the side, he's a professional bocce ball player.
He's a professional darts player, I thought.
Oh, actually,
Maybe.
I love
Like-
that.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, that's it. I would love because he can't drink. Like the alcohol does nothing to him, but he's constantly at bars to play darts.
Ah.
Oh,
what
and
the
one of his like
hell?
old tricks was that he put his hand up to the dartboard and just be like, and this was early on with his powers when he was discovering them, and like he was actually kind of into it. You know, he's just like, here, on like makes $50 from it, and then there was an event that happened that made him have to be like, okay, I've got to do something, and it turned out like it was perfectly him.
Yeah, he goes to darts with his friends and whatnot. Like,
What was the other scene that we were thinking about? Boardroom.
yeah, the boardroom of, hey, we don't need to send Frank on every single mission you want to. Like,
This should also be not scene ideas, but
We should have
set.
We should definitely have a bar, like a bar, room. Like we should have a name for a bar that he goes to. Like
Settings
that's his place.
/ time. Okay.
yeah, darts
so,
bar. Yeah.
Do we like the idea that this is a period piece in like the 70s or 80s?
I'm leaning more towards 80s. If you want to go in the past, I'm here
80s?
for that.
Dono, do we like this being
80s?
past or present day more? Oh, I kind of like this being in the past.
I do too. I'm here for the 80s. Yeah.
And not exactly like VHS 80s, but more like not corporate 80s, not VHS 80s, but what's the word?
Kind of like
Liminal. Kind of like liminal 80s, like nostalgic 80s.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like a nostalgic 80s.
Nostalgic 80s, pre or post? What was going on in the 80s? That's a good question. That would be like, ooh,
The Beatles.
The Beatles.
post Beatles. Well, 80s. 80s
What
is one
happened-
of those time periods it's really hard to think about what happened in the 80s.
I'll Google it.
Because there wasn't any war going on in the 80s. Well, the wars in Afghanistan were starting to happen in the 80s. So the Middle East was the
Cold War.
Battle.
Like the Berlin Wall.
Cold War was still going on, yeah. So mid-Cold War.
That could be like the big turning point. They want to send him to Russia for something, and that's when he's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Maybe.
No? Okay, maybe.
I don't hate that idea outright. I don't hate it outright. Let me put I need to put a card here for put it down here for
Dippy, I know you're too nice to do this as a bit. Something would have been so funny for you to be like, hey, let me put this down here, and you label the card trash ideas, and then write mine and put it in the I know you're too nice to do that.
I would.
God damn,
hold on, wait.
Funny.
I would never. I would never do anything like that. Just like. There we go. There we go. I was trying to see if there was a way to remove a card. Yeah, there is. Okay, no. So conflict.
This is that overall. Why do I want to lose my powers?
Yes.
So
where's the thing that there it is. Open image in new tab. This is the comic I was talking about before. So
yes.
So what of these? Like, do we? If this could be, I think this fits into a modern archetype.
Yes.
So is it man versus society or man versus self, or is it even like just? Yeah, it would have to be one of these two. Yeah. Because there is no driving force for him to be, unless there's another person, there's another person who has the counteraction to his powers.
What if there's a hero that he just really envies and he's just why couldn't I have fucking gotten that?
I don't know that he wants another power though. I think he's used. I don't know. Again, don't hate that idea.
Yeah.
I would say, what if it boils down to the government approaching him being like, how would you feel if instead we went on missions and whatnot, you hung out back in the lab and we tried to recreate your power for other people? And he starts to I don't know if I trust.
Not battery low.
And that gets the gears turning of I don't know if I trust you guys with just the free will to hand out this power. And so that's man versus society, as in the governmental society, not all of society, but governmental society.
Right.
And that would be a good reason to be I'm out. And then also it would then put the FBI against him. Second and third act is on the run looking for whatever it was in that house that he went in that made him feel pain.
FBI commissioner. Oops, that's not how you spell commissioner. That's how you spell commissioner. FBI commissioner.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. It's just George Clooney. I like the name
Shepherd.
Chapel.
Oh, Chapel. Okay. We both pick religious names. Shepherd Chapel.
Agent Chapel.
Shepherd Chapel. Hard. No, wait.
What if he's just an easygoing guy?
Yeah.
What if he's just an easygoing guy?
No, we need a prick somewhere in here.
Okay.
We do. This is I'm imagining this is the antagonist.
Yeah. Yes.
What
if anything?
How do you guys feel about that idea? The government's how about instead we start doing some tests and whatnot? You won't feel a thing because you're you, and we might be able to recreate this if we look at your blood long enough, look at your platelets, look at your spit,
And what we're thinking,
not a mad scientist, scientist, but
for the good of the
kind of
everyone.
Sees the potential.
Yeah.
And he ends
corrupt official type beat.
I don't think it's corruption. I think it's
corrupt.
It's more paladin, less rogue.
You know how every Marvel movie ends with a battle between two people that basically just have the same powers?
Mm-hmm.
I would love if this ended with the commissioner getting the powers and they're just throwing hands and they're like, wait, this doesn't really do it. This doesn't,
Yeah.
we can't, like.
Or,
I
okay.
also don't want that as the ending. I hate
that's not a great ending.
No, it's so shitty.
That's
Black
like
Panther's the only one that did it good, in my opinion.
That's like if you did Men Who Stare at Goats, but in reverse, and the guy just falls.
What
like,
a
runs
good
into,
pull!
Just
Good
runs
movie.
into the wall at the very end. It's just like, man, I shot myself in the
Wants
fucking
to
foot
replicate
doing
Frank's powers to give it to
Soldiers?
to agents / soldiers
/ his
Oh.
dog.
gain a permanent,
Okay.
unstoppable advantage.
What
And
if
it's in the 80s of like, I can so see that scene of like, it'll really give us the upper hand in this Cold War. We don't know what's
What-
going to happen next. Everyone was unsure. Everyone was.
okay?
To
What
the
if
to the military.
they already
machine.
got his DNA and he finds out that they've been doing experiments?
Oh, see, I like it being a choice more. I like the character
See-
having to come to terms with it or not.
No, but I do
Okay.
like. Hold on, Man vs. Society. Frank gets an opportunity to remove his power, or alternative, or Frank mysteriously loses his power for an instant. Going back to,
Oh.
yeah, for an instant, doesn't know why and has to find out.
Actually, Dono, I'm here for that. That's why he's losing his power. Of like, could we
To
science?
decide whether
Yo,
or
what if
not
it's
he
like?
wants
What if
to
it's okay?
keep it.
Can
what-
we science bullshit? Oh, you go, Dono.
Okay, so I know where you're going. We go with like the idea of the Flash, where it is the Speed Force, but it's the Immunity Force.
The Speed Force. The
And
immunity.
so when there's another person, it lessens his power.
Yeah, that was actually kind of where I was going. Is that
We're
like,
getting
hey,
to that point where we're like, are these going to turn into MacGuffins? Are these going to turn into like items of instant explanation for something happening? I don't know that I want there to be
Yeah.
like some invisible overarching force of like, oh, only this many people can have superpowers at one time. I
No,
don't.
I'm talking about like
I don't
this
like that idea so
superpower.
much.
It's not like
This super. Well, even then, even if it's every superpower, I don't think there should be any governing like invisible anything.
no, that's fair.
that
Yeah.
decides
I like-
that someone gets
Ooh.
this.
What if
It should
we?
be affected by something.
Here's something
like,
world
we-
building in. There is the conspiracy. Like people have conspiracy that there's individuals that have superpowers that are like athletes.
I got it. His power generates some like it's like he is invulnerable and whatnot. So everything has equal and opposite reaction, everything. So his body is slowly producing force out, and that's what stops things from puncturing or like stops the fire from burning. It's a small force away from him. And the government has learned to harness this. So his last couple jobs he's going on, they have little batteries in there, siphoning his power. And that's what they plan on using. I know this feels MacGuffin again, but
That-
it's
No,
less
no,
of,
also
like,
doesn't
yeah.
sound
That's
like
a
an
better.
immunity
That's
anymore.
something
Yeah.
that he can discover, though. That's something that he
Yes.
can like. What I want from this is I want the audience to have the moment of.
Oh, I think I get what you're going
That's
for.
why he's
Basically,
losing
he's
his
never
power.
actually understood his power, and now he's actually really learning
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
So
Going back to my original
he's been
pitch.
doing this for a long time, and the audience is going to start learning with him
Yes.
how it actually all works
Yes.
and why it's important
Yes.
that he's the one in charge
Yes. Yes.
So-
That's why. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
long story short, the government has found a way to siphon his power into containers, and they're slowly putting that at jobs he's
Okay.
going
So
to.
we're removing the idea that Frank knows about this, or
Yes. Well, I would
he's
assume
given
he
the
discovers it
or
early.
maybe he's given the opportunity maybe he's given the opportunity, but he rejects it, and the government is doing it anyway.
Yes.
I
like
because
that. Yes.
good old U.S. government would never do anything underneath the noses of the American public. Operation
especially
Mockingbird.
during the Cold War.
Especially during the Cold War era, Operation MK Ultra.
Yes, he's given the opportunity. He says no, and the government does it anyways.
And turn that or into an and, baby.
That's a movie.
And
Also, I don't think an hour
refuses.
was enough because we have 4 minutes.
Oh my
We have
God.
4 minutes left. Oh my god.
4 minutes.
This is a
Anti-Racism
great-
we have a
number one
good
corrupt
chunk.
official wants
This is
to
a great
replicate
pitch.
Frank's power
Like,
to
this
give
is
it
a
to
great
agents,
pitch.
soldiers to gain a permanent, unstoppable advantage to the U.S.
I
military.
mean, really, we have everything. Now it's just breaking down, like,
Yeah.
this is how it starts. This is Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Because that's, that's the gist of the movie.
Mhm. I do feel like there should be another agent that's just like a huge fan of him, that he just fucking can't
I mean, that's
stand.
that's a good side character.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like,
It ends up being like a key point later on in the story.
and, like, hides him at his house for a bit. Like,
It's like, so,
Like,
and
while he's
like
on
there's
the
an
run?
and there's this interaction. It's like, so I was thinking about this for like a superhero costume. It's like, why the fuck do I need a costume?
are you tired of being naked in the houses, man? Come on. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, my dick's everywhere.
Fireproof suit.
It's
Yeah.
like his response is, my dick's everywhere on the internet anyway. It doesn't
my
fucking
God.
matter anymore.
Well, this is the 80s. It wouldn't.
I
It,
was-
It was the-
wouldn't be the internet yet. It would be like newspapers or publications. Or
It's
something.
like everybody's seen
which
it.
you're not allowed to have a dick in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's in all the tabloids. That's what it would be. It's
Yeah,
in
there
all
you
the
go.
tabloids.
It's like, I got a joke reward for being the world's #1 nudist. I fucking
Wait. Why does that immediately make me think of a bit where he's done like a run of Playboy, but
I was
he's
just
in
thinking
different
that, yeah.
disaster situations? He's just like crawling out of an acid pit, or
like
But all of them, he's
sexually.
saving a woman in a bikini. Like,
oh my gosh.
I think I've been called, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Vern Kipper, fanatic.
Yeah, I don't know. Fanatic.
Is that a male or a female name? Vern.
the fact that you're even asking?
It feels like it is a very like could be anyone kind of name, you know? Oh.
Hmm.
Like that's just kind of like the character that like, oh, anybody could fit this role. We just got to get not like we can have anybody audition for it. And so ends up being the fanfare. Dippy.
Oh god.
Dippy.
Whoa. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Dippy broke it and then he didn't.
Same.
Okay.
Also, we did a little bit of discussion, but where does Oakley now fit into this?
They kill Oakley.
They kill him.
He's a sacrificial lamb for the whole thing.
This is when we learn that like they're like they harnessed enough energy to try to give it to someone, and then to bring it back to Oakley is suffering from something, but the FBI doesn't know it.
Yes.
Frank might know about it,
Yeah.
and they give him the immunity serum. Serum?
I love the
I don't
idea
know.
that the man who is
Gas.
immune to everything has someone who
Gas.
is constantly sick. In their life. No,
That doesn't work though.
it
Not
doesn't.
hypochondriac, but like, what's the like he's not constantly ill, but he's higher risk of it.
What if
I don't
he's
know.
just like the landlord?
The landlord.
What?
Like, you know, in Deadpool with the blind lady?
Oh.
I don't know.
know.
So I think the second shit hits the fan, like Oakley is like sitting there like with the FBI pretending to be on the phone, or not pretending, but like trying to get Frank to come back and being like, hey man, like it's a good money and whatnot. And like when Frank says no, the FBI is like, okay, you're useless. Like
Okay, let me do.
whether that boils down
me-
to
let me
him
try to-
dying or
Yeah. because this sounds like a climax point. So why don't we describe this climax? Oakley is selected,
Yes,
and we can leave that up to interpretation as it's being written, obviously, to be
the first test subject,
the first trial for the siphon. The siphon. I like.
yeah,
that being the code name.
yeah.
What?
The
Okay.
siphon.
Here's the thing for the Agent Vern. Agent Vern originally was one to be like, "Hey, you're really interested in this power. You know a lot about it. What if you were?"
Yeah.
And then, they were the ones that ended up accidentally telling Frank.
Oh,
like,
Oakley
"Hey."
is the one that spilled the beans. No, I really like Frank finding it on his own.
Yeah.
Oakley
Well,
is selected to be the
that's
first
why-
trial for the siphon. Frank is
Okay. Here's this,
Hot
Dudley. How does a
on
dude that is just a basic guy that has superpowers find out that his shit's being siphoned off?
Because there needs to be those containers at like where he is scouted, wherever the jobs is, and he finds one of the containers. Maybe Oakley tells him what the container is, but I really like Frank finding the device that's siphoning his powers.
We just made a character that is Agent Vern Kipper, who is a fanatic.
So he would be the one to talk
Yeah.
to follow up on Dono wanting another a character be like, oh, you know, to be there to be a fan of Frank in the agency and offer to help, but Frank doesn't accept the help all the time. Yeah. Oh, the climax being Oakley is selected to be the first trial for the siphon. Frank is hot on the trail of the mystery when he stumbles into Oakley's death.
Yes, because of the siphon. And that...
Which answers multiple questions.
Yep.
All at the same time. Infuriating Frank and leading to his ultimate decision to
I think it Frank sees the death and he's like, fine, I will do it. And after getting all of the power siphoned and whatnot, Frank tries to do something to destroy all the siphon that they just did. So now he no longer has powers and he's trying to destroy all the siphons in the last act.
Here's the choice that I saw. Give up his power and try to destroy it.
Or keep the power in safe hands.
Power in safe hands.
And be okay with the FBI hunting him.
Being okay with his continued continued powerful existence.
Are we in agreement that he's not 100%? What is it? He very much has the attitude of, I didn't choose this. Why am I having to do this? Kind of a situation.
Yeah.
So what if during the last act, he gets that choice finally of whether or not he wants the powers?
Maybe it's a choice that he's forced to make.
Yeah.
Or there's a situation that's happening that if he had his powers,
but remember our
he
tagline.
would be able to solve what?
Not all powers are wanted. So in the beginning of the movie, Frank mysteriously something is happening to his power.
Yes.
But in the beginning of the movie as well, he is kind of uppity about his power. He doesn't know if he wants to continue being Indemnity. He doesn't know if he wants to continue to be this persona. And then suddenly there's a blip where he loses his power and something happens to him, and but he doesn't know what happened and he wants to figure out what happened. So he's going through his day-to-day. He shows people oh my god, look what happened to me. And he has a splinter in between his fingers. He has a cut across the back of his hand. He has
one scene is literally him just being like, hey dude, punch me.
Yeah. You keep going back to that. I don't think that news.
You're the one that brought it up.
I did not.
I brought it up. No, I brought it up.
Okay, my bad.
I don't know about that. Because alcohol doesn't affect him, so he doesn't pretend to be drunk.
Maybe he goes on like a complete binge, like a binge. Once he finds out that his powers are going away, it's like, oh, I can actually enjoy this shit.
Or he tries to and he can't, and that's when he learns, like, wait, is my power not going away? And that's why he's like, let me look into this.
So basically,
what's the thing that only Frank can solve because he is Immunity Man? Like, diplomatic immunity. He just has free will to walk into the lab that he works in or is brought to. I mean, is he brought to a lab though? Like, he has free will to look about his documents or something like that.
I will say on that, the movie doesn't have to be, and then he does solve it. There are plenty of superhero movies that there is a problem only that superhero can solve, and the superhero doesn't fucking solve it. Look at like Peter Pan. Look at Avengers Endgame or Infinity War.
Okay, that's also that's also fair.
Like it doesn't have the whole movie is based around only you can do this, Frank. And the ending can be, I don't fucking want it anymore. Like,
which is a completely valid answer to a situation that I don't want to. Maybe Frank's the only one that has the balls to say, like, no.
You saw that video game therapist video recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, on that note, just so it makes sense in my brain, beginning of the movie, he has powers, everything's fine. Some daily life shit happens, goes on a job, his powers fluctuate. That's weird. Gets the opportunity to, hey, you want to give up your powers? No, I'm good. Government does it anyways. Oakley.
And Oakley dies as a result. Yes. And that leads to Frank having to ultimately make a decision whether he wanted to make that decision or not.
Yeah.
Whether he wants to keep these powers or lose them.
I think then a good ending would be something along the lines of like what did we name him? Vern Kipper, helping him go off the grid. Like
opening
the last
up the realm of a sequel.
Yeah, like the last thing we see is like Frank and Kipper on like Bermuda Beach. And just I don't know.
Very
no, Lizette. Why did
Lizette? Oh yeah, fucking Lizette, of course. Fuck.
Yeah, why would Vern want to make him disappear? They fucking love him.
Vern could be that also, guy in the potential sequel who's like, where did Indemnity go? And he's the one that's like spreading the misinformation in the news and like the radio.
I feel like Frank with Vern is very much like sees him down the hallway and is just like, I'm gonna turn around now. Like avoids them.
Or on a beach in the Maldives.
Yeah, like. Yeah,
but what decision does he make at the end, though?
Keep his powers and be on the...
He is keeping his powers at the end, yeah.
And goes on the run, yeah.
Or on a beach in the Maldives, on the run from an angry FBI.
Yeah.
This, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of wondering to Hulk.
If
the Incredible Hulk.
Frank made the right...
Because at the end of the movie, he runs away.
Look. Come the end of the night, every movie has already been made.
I know. It's true.
Yeah, we are reskinning every story.
Yeah, it's also like taking
it's just like that
of the story. Like, we also should have this guy. I can't get the image out of my head of a guy that Frank like interacts with in unconsciously interacts with or subconsciously interacts with. Huh?
I said, Dippy just out here thinking about dudes and the things
There's this guy that Frank subconsciously like interacts with over the course of the movie. That like this guy is the one who who is like doing these things to Frank to siphon his power away.
Oh,
like that's the reason that
there's just like the same dude on the subway. Like, oh, that guy must be, like live near my apartment.
And whether whether they're a red herring or not is up to question. Right.
I love the idea that and then there's a day he goes home and he's like, that fucking splinter hurts again. And he starts noticing that it's every day he sees this dude on the subway that the splinter that's been stuck in his hand fucking hurts.
Mysterious
stranger.
Background stranger. Plot point carrier.
And that's
undercover.
That Frank finally confronts him, and that's what leads to the climax. Like Frank confronts him, and it's the first time we see Frank like mad of like, why have you been following me? Why do my powers not work around you? And he's the one that lets it slip where Oakley is.
In cahoots with the FBI to tail slash mess with or occupy, Frank in his daily pursuits to gather slash plant objects and fixtures to enact, quote, the siphon.
The siphon. Yeah, I love that, because then that would lead right to the climax. And then, we've been seeing this guy throughout the movie and whatnot. Yeah, I really like that.
Spills beans. Spills before climax.
Yes.
Lets the cat out the bag.
Yeah. So there's also the point of like, Immunity Man is still on call in this time. He's still going to these disaster scenes or these he's still doing his job. And maybe like at first he loses his power in a nonchalant situation where he gets the splinter. And then a real turning point in Act 1 or 2, maybe like right after the beginning of Act 2.
Yes.
Or ending of Act 1, beginning of Act 2 is he loses his power in a dangerous environment and he is put in real danger for the first time ever, and he is like invested because a splinter is a splinter. Like when his immunity is active, he doesn't worry about it because it doesn't it's not affecting him. But when he's in a real situation, he's like, oh fuck.
Yep.
Like,
which would probably also be his sister's turning point of like keeping eyes on him on the job and whatnot. Like, no, something wasn't fucking right. He got hurt out there. Like,
this is the very like humanizing portion of him and realizing this is just a dude. Like, this is just a dude.
Yep.
That was given powers, and now those powers aren't working, and he just has himself.
Yeah, like even
just
like
everybody else
pulled out. Like other people have to run in to get him. He needs
it's very it's very much Spider-Man holding onto the train as coming.
Yeah. In every Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Is observant of him when his problem presents itself in full for
I'm in agreement. That was a cool scene. That was a dope scene. It was very Spider-Man. It was very Spider-Man.
What, holding the train back?
And the way that the people interacted, because it's like that's Spider-Man as a character. The city is a character. And,
there you can talk at length about how like every Spider-Man has done a good job making New York its own character, but Tobey Maguire's did it best.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think each one of the Spider-Man have done something perfectly that the other one didn't. I think
best friend.
Yeah,
I think Garfield literally like did Spider-Man to the T of just like how his kind of like his way that he holds himself and whatnot. You know, like the jokes, the cracking, the way that he interacts with his villains. It's great. Like that is Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man I want to see interact with Deadpool,
dude.
Because in the comics they're good friends. Like
they're coming out with a third movie of his.
Yeah, it's not confirmed.
Okay, but he should be fighting Venom in it. So they're gonna do a Venom 3. I saw the movie poster.
Okay. Yes.
But they're gonna release Venom 3, and then it'll be Tobey Maguire's. Or no, not Tobey Maguire's. What the fuck? Andrew Garfield's third Spider-Man.
I feel like we have a movie.
Yeah.
It's in loose
This
forms.
is definitely some of the best first steps we could have taken for this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Actually, you sneezed twice. Bless your health, bless your money.
Thank you.
I learned recently that that's how Spanish does their triplets. You know how if you sneeze 3 times, you don't exactly have a different saying for each individual one? You just kind of say bless you multiple times. In Spanish, the first time it's salud for your health. The second time it's dinero for your money. And the third time it's amor for your love.
Oh, I like that. I wonder what happens if you have like a sneeze. Like, what's the 12th one? Like, it's for your.
You have a fucking problem.
Chairs.
Go to the hospital for your deck chairs.
I will never not think about the Dear Hank and John bit of like sneezing is never normal.
Give up his. So no one can use it for evil.
Evil.
Imagine an evil character that's just like, I'm immune to everything. Cool. So I can just beat the shit out of you.
Well, that's the thing, is that not necessarily, because he can't throw the strongest punches.
I know. Exactly.
And he can't
What if he's
like there were definitely.
What if like at the end of the movie he's just like, okay, I should probably like pick up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something like that. Like fucking
I should learn martial arts. I should learn self-defense. Or if you wanted to go like a little bit if you wanted to go into a different demographic, I need a gun.
Go
have you guys seen the Hot Ones bit? The Hot Ones clip of who the fuck is it? An old school comedian. I don't know who the fuck he is. He's getting asked of like, hey, you've done judo and you grew up in the Bronx. If you get into like mugged on the street, what's coming out? Do you think your judo's coming out, or do you think the old school Bronx in you is coming out? And he's like, the
Joey.
fucking gun, bitch. Yeah, Joey. Yeah, the fucking gun, bitch.
That's
Frank wants
Uncle
to lose
Joey.
his power because he's tired of having it. He wants to solve a problem without
Joey
them.
Diaz.
Is definitely
Joey Diaz. Yeah.
Joey Diaz. Fucking Joey Diaz. Frank wants to lose his power.
He's like, I got 22 pointing right in your groin right now.
Then nobody
fucking legendary, man.
Nobody would be able to abuse it. All right.
I love the idea that this character, like, he's never abused his powers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard power to abuse.
It is. Yeah.
I think the most he's ever done to abuse it is the dart game, where he's just like, if you can make me bleed.
I was gonna say I could totally see like a young version of him being like, I will drink anyone under the table right now. $50, let's go. Like, but besides that, it's not really a power you can abuse.
Yeah.
So I think we got it.
Yeah. I think this is solid. What is logline?
So this is, if you could summarize the entire movie in a sentence, like, what would that sentence look like? And this one is a little bit of a longer sentence. In the case of 18XX, my thesis that I have previously done an episode about, what was my log line for 18XX? Yeah. So, for 18XX, my tagline was a bond stronger than bullets, because it's about two soldiers
I
trying
love
to
that. Yeah.
make it home. And make it home, they're helping each other, and they, like, by the end of the movie, obviously, they are, like, very strong, like, acquaintances, comrades in arms, like brothers in arms type deal. My log line is just a pure description. No. You don't know how many people in my film class, when I first, like, wrote this, were like, so are they gay? And I'm like, no, they're not gay.
They're kind of gay.
Like, when do they?
They're not. No, they're. Dibbit, you did a really good job writing like male friendship with no sexual undertone, which is hard.
Yeah, and can I just say, I hate that people like constantly have this whole, like, if there's two male friends that have like a good relationship with each other, people are just like, oh, they're gay.
No,
like, no,
they're not.
They're not fucking gay.
Deku and Bakugo.
Please, it's such a bad relationship. And
then,
like, please.
The log line for this movie, again, is if you could summarize the whole movie in 1 or 2 sentences, what would those sentences be? I said, 2 opposing Civil War soldiers wake up in the middle of an abandoned Gettysburg, presumed dead. They band together in an effort to make it home without being caught for desertion. So, this log line would be something to the tune of, Frank Carver is a hero for hire. Frank Carver is a hero for hire who is immune to anything and everything, comma, and he's getting tired of that.
Yes.
And he's getting tired of that. One day his power slips, and Frank discovers, and Frank must uncover a horrible truth and a ticket out. Or what's the best way to describe a chance at...
A better way I think of not doing it is that the power slip is what wakes him up. Like, he's very passive about it all.
One day his power slips and Frank must
wake up to the reality of a dark truth.
Frank realizes that
there's more to his story.
Frank realizes that there's a chance at freedom?
At a normal life?
There's a chance at a, quote, normal life, comma, but at an abnormal
I keep
cost.
thinking about, like, this guy, because it's like, he's not gonna die. He's not gonna freaking die. So what is he gonna look like when he's 150? And I keep thinking of, like, oh, what is it, Heaven's Workers? And what God is, like, what he looks like. Oh, Miracle Workers. And Miracle Workers, what?
A miracle worker. Frank Carver is a hero for hire who is immune to anything and everything, and he's getting tired of that. One day, his power slips, and Frank realizes that there's a chance at a normal life, but at an abnormal cost.
Also, I feel
that sounds
like
friggin' good. That
yeah,
sounds.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Daniel Radcliffe would be perfect for this character.
Why did I know you were going to say that? Daniel Radcliffe has played a man with guns taped to his hands. He's played a man who had a chainsaw in his ass. He played a wizard for 7 years. He has played some of the strangest characters in cinema.
That he would play. Like, this is a strange enough character.
I don't think he would do this justice. I think you need to get someone like
he does have too much of a face that people would recognize, and it's a
exactly.
Thing I
want this to be like. I don't want this to be someone you would immediately recognize from other superhero medium, from other superhero mediums or universes like that. So no RDJ, no Chris Evans, no whatever.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
This has got.
What about Steve Buscemi?
No.
Steve Buscemi is Frank Carver. Oh god!
When I was a kid, I used to have nightmares about Steve Buscemi. Like, I'm dead serious. Like that man terrified me. Like,
what about Paul Giamatti? He does have that. No, not Paul Giamatti either. Oh god!
What if oh, he's still in something super? I was gonna say the fucking one of the guys from Supernatural, the one with shorter hair. Jensen
Ackles?
He's done so many superhero things.
I don't know. That feels like
dude, he's the Red Hood. Like, he is the Red Hood in the animated series.
I mean, in voice acting, yeah.
Yeah, in voice acting. And he also was Batman.
What if this was
for...
Could y'all envision Frank being like a Matthew Mercer type? Like, with that.
Honestly, yes. Yeah.
Because I imagine this person has to be more of like his aesthetic has to be more nerd than bodybuilder, like more brains over brawn type physique, and like you could see someone like like the person I originally mentioned, Stephen Merchant, was a pretty apt
good
description
pick.
when I first was describing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like
okay. So I know we're going for like the main character, but Agent Vern, Brendan Lee Mulligan.
yeah, that would be pretty good. I would absolutely see that.
I could totally see Brendan not being like
kind
of a character and doing it really well.
I'm just gonna throw this out there that like if any of us got to play characters, who's the villain? Because I see Dono as a very good villain.
I see Dono being the commissioner in this case.
Yes.
If we were to be the characters in this movie, like the bare essential characters, I see Dadley being Frank. I see myself being Oakley, and I see Dono being Commissioner Shepard.
Really?
I'm here for that.
I see that construct of cast members if we're just pulling from ourselves.
I totally see that.
And like Emily being Lizette.
Oh my god. Give me a
What's
second.
up?
I gotta remember.
For some reason, I see Tilda. For some reason, I see Tilda Swinton being Lizette, but that's only because I saw Asteroid City recently, which is my media pick of the week, by the way. Go see Asteroid City. It's so fun. It's such a wonderfully weird movie. Yes. Tangent over. Okay.
Oh. Okay, cast.
Tilda Swinton would absolutely be a great Agent Lizette for this.
Oh, what do you guys think about Logan Meerman?
Who the hell is Logan Meerman? Spell his last name?
Learman. Lerman. He did Teen Wolf and shit.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about this man in years. He was Percy Jackson, yeah.
Oh, that beard and hair totally makes me think that
that's a good pick too.
That would be a good. I see that being Frank, right? That could absolutely. But you know what his face kind of immediately reminded me of, and I don't know why. Daniel Thrasher from TikTok and YouTube.
Oh yeah, this guy was in
the piano guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't this guy in
Oh my god, they look so much alike.
Yeah, they do.
They look similar, but I could see
it could be either one of them. But yeah, like I feel like Logan has the capability. They do. But I feel like Logan, as like naturally as an actor, he's able to kind of give that energy.
Yeah.
Of just kind of like
who's the guy
caring but not. No, I can't see him past.
No,
I honestly can't see him past like what he is current, like the Good Doctor. He's
but he's not even the Good Doctor anymore. I think the Good Doctor is over, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. But he played so well with that I just can't not see him doing that.
What's the name of the movie?
What's the name?
I kind of envisioned that it was either going to be. Oh God. Get rid of you. Get close.
We could go with like.
I kind of
modern.
Thought like.
We could just call it Immunity.
Well, it would either be like indemnity, because that's the name of that's the hero name we gave him.
We could go like full anime and title it something like That Time I Felt Pain for the First Time.
We could also call
it's
it
not pain though.
We could call it the Splinter.
This whole adventure, the Splinter.
Oh, just Splinter.
They're gonna think it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It is true.
No,
yeah, I instantly thought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well.
Also, because how has he not gotten his own movie? That would be fucking awesome.
What, Splinter? Oh yeah, his backstory and everything, so fucking good. Well, it also depends on what depiction they do of Master. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. Why can't I think of the Turtles' fucking dad? Master
Splinter.
Is it Master Splinter? Oh, I'm thinking Shredder.
To be immune.
God damn. Okay.
To be immune is good.
All right. I like it.
To be immune. I kind of like that. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
There's our movie.
So, that concludes episode 1 of freaking the
whatever this is.
I'm trying to think. Dapper.
The pitch.
Oh God, the pitch. What?
I think that's already a thing, but
cinema synonyms. Let's see.
Playhouse.
The Dapper Drive-In.
Oh, drive-in discussions.
Drive-in, Dapper Drive-ins. The Dapper Drive-In.
This is just drive-ins. Or dives-in, or dive-ins. I don't know.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
It could also be like the Dapper D's Save a Cat or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We could just call it Save the Cat.
Saving cats.
No. Oh yeah. Whatever we want to do.
This is part of a new mini-series called Saving Cats.
Yeah.
Sure.
It has nothing to do really with saving cats. It's got like a little thing to do with it. Okay.
Yeah. It's got nothing to do with saving cats. That should be a moment that we include in these.
Ooh. Primal Goddess just brought up a thing of like his power abuses him. I don't know.
In what way? What do you mean?
I don't know. Never mind. I think there's something to think about there.
Saved cat moment. What moment makes you instantly trust Frank? I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we never actually answered it.
Also, like, this is also something that not every movie like needs to have. We don't need to have the audience be like, "Oh, we love Frank."
No, I'd rather actually not have a moment where, like,
he kicks a cat.
No.
No.
I want.
There could easily be something at the bar. Like we talked about. Like,
what if there's a moment where he's just like talking to somebody? He's like, "Hey, you know those things kill you, right?"
That feels preachy to me. I hate when people are like that.
But like to him, it doesn't. But like to him,
I don't know.
But like he still cares about people.
For some reason, I'm just thinking about For some reason, I guess I'm just thinking about like the opening scene I described, where the camera's panning down on him standing in the remnants of a house fire, and like held in his arms is like a thing that is only alive because he protected it with his body.
Yeah.
And that's like the instantaneous saved cat moment is, okay, he uses his powers for good, but he's tired of using his powers. And that could also bring up a dilemma
like this is definitely a power that would wear you down as a person.
Yes.
That also brings up like the philosophical quandary of how dare you? Why would you want to give up a power that saves people? Like, that like would be an interesting philosophical thing in this movie that would absolutely work, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's the idea of putting somebody on a pedestal and not realizing that they're an actual
Frank Carver is
person.
A hero for hire who is immune to anything and everything, and he's getting tired of that. One day his power slips and Frank realizes that there's a chance at a normal life, but at an abnormal cost. Frank Carver is our protagonist superhero named Indemnity. But this isn't a super important point. It's just like, it comes up and he's like, why does every superhero have to have a name? Immune to all natural effects and conditions, but not to pain necessarily. Oakley Whitcomb is a pivotal. The superhero's agent helps Indemnity get paid, get work, and takes care of the pen and paper. Is Frank's best friend and the catalyst of Frank's heroic climax, which is this down here. FBI agent Lizette Carver is his sister, my brother's keeper. She lessens the impact of events on Frank's life and might be on the edge of her wit because of it. Is observant of him when his problem presents itself in full for the first act, and stays with him throughout.
Should we think of like other superheroes that could be in this world, or is it just him?
So, I mean,
that's kind of what I was thinking about earlier. Is like this world has other superheroes in it, but they're not the main focus.
Yeah,
and we don't need to build a universe off of this. This needs to be a movie in and of itself. We don't need
this is a bubble.
No,
this is a bubble that we're focusing on.
This bubble does not need to be part of a grander cinematic universe of indemnities, travels. Like no. This is just this needs to be a self-contained movie.
Or we're doing 9 more of these, and we can put them all in the same cinematic universe.
We're gonna go to space.
We have a universe kind of set with the fact that these are all going to be written by us. So there is a small universe at play, but it's more of a universe like the Wes Anderson universe, where none of the movies have anything to do with each other, but aesthetically they're similar, thematically they're similar. But that's only because it's the same people putting into it. Commissioner Shepard Chapel, antagonist number 1, corrupt official, wants to replicate Frank's power to give it to agents/soldiers to gain a permanent unstoppable advantage to the U.S. military machine behind the whole operation. Also, Piper is antagonist number 2. I didn't put that earlier because it was probably implied, but now it needs to not be implied because screenwriting is all about if it's not written on the paper, the audience can't see it and doesn't know it. But the audience also can't see thoughts. So it's like you have to put down exactly what something is. Right. Agent Vern Kipper, fanatic, overly helpful, tries to offer solutions to little problems Frank has, but Frank is not having it. Piper is antagonist number 2, background stranger, plot point carrier, undercover with the FBI to occupy Frank in his daily pursuit to gather and fixtures to enact the siphon and spills before the climax. The motivation is that Frank wants to lose his power because he's tired of having it. He wants to solve a problem without them. He's required to lose them to save Oakley. He try to save Oakley. He discovers a method to when he thought otherwise. He has a splinter that he can't get rid of. He wants to lose his power because then nobody would be able to abuse it. Settings and time include darts at a bar, boardroom, and apartment in the nostalgic 80s mid-Cold War America in Virginia and the Virginia, Maryland area, because you're thinking obviously around Washington, D.C., but not in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
What if his what if his like apartment is haunted, but he just doesn't give a fuck, and it's actually a ghost that's really there?
It's been a ghost this whole time protecting him.
It's been a ghost. Oh God, what a horrible Deus Ex Machina that would be. No.
Listen, ghosts, okay? Let's head ghosts.
Really quick.
Superhero movie.
I don't want to have this go on much longer.
Yeah, we're about to
we all need to go to bed at some point.
Yeah.
What are other jobs he would go on besides in a fire?
Like earthquakes, tornadoes.
Okay.
I don't feel like he'd be very helpful in a tornado, but like a chemical
that's
leak.
fair. He'll just get tossed
around.
Volcano.
Well, that's still fire.
Chemical
leaks.
In like freaking
chemical leaks. Yeah, chemical leaks, bomb threats. Like I imagine that one thing that he gets called on to do sometimes is like he's like a one-man bomb squad, because if the bomb goes off on him, he's not affected by it, but the environment around him is still destroyed, and then the FBI has to clean up after him.
I feel like one of the things that the agents talk about, like the commissioner, is just like, why couldn't this have been like a different guy that actually could, like, we could send undercover?
We could train and fucking
It's like we need to give
and that's what pushes him to be like, hey, why don't we take his power?
Yes.
Man vs. Society. Frank gets an opportunity to remove his power, but refuses, and Frank mysteriously loses his power for an instant, doesn't know why, and has to find out to decide whether or not he wants to keep it. Okay. Climax is Oakley is selected to be the first trial for the siphon. Frank is hot on the trail of the mystery when he stumbles into Oakley's death, which answers multiple questions all at the same time, infuriating Frank and leading to his ultimate decision to either A, give up his power and try to destroy it so no one can use it for evil, or B, keep the power in safe hands and being okay with his continued powerful existence. Because that goes back to the tagline of not all powers are wanted, but what if he needs it because it would be in the wrong hands otherwise?
Yes.
The stunning conclusion that Frank and Lizette are on a beach in the Maldives on the run from an angry FBI, wondering if Frank made the right choice, and in Frank's mind, He did.
I like the idea that eventually he just becomes the crazy guy on the street that can like that's eating trash because he can. Like that's what
he devolves. He just devolves because he like. Oh,
he'll live through it. Doesn't fucking matter.
Eating trash on the street because he can, just because he can.
Like instead of it being like this nice little moment where he's in the beach or whatever, he's like on the streets of Mexico City. And he's just some dude with like a shitload, like just a bunch of beers.
He's the ultimate street urchin because he is immune to a disease. Like that's another thing, is like he's sent into active viral zones to act as like the doctor's assistant
and
of like he's on.
And then suddenly, like, he actually still does nice things. It's just he's able to get in and out now, and nobody looks at the crazy guy on the street. Like, he's still being a hero.
All good points.
Yeah.
All good points. That is a movie that I have available in my projects now, at the very least. Let me stop sharing there. And then we will... Oh, we can't hear the music anymore unless Dadley shares again.
Oh,
or I'll just share. Or I'll just share.
You're just gonna do... Okay, I appreciate it.
So, with all of that said, all of that done, with all of that, I think we have a little mini-series going now, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good first episode of... whatever the hell this is. The Dapper D Saving Cats. Saving Cats. Saving Cats is a great episode.
Saving Cats. Yeah.
Saving Cats is a great series title.
It is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've loved the book Save the Cat for a long time now. I suggest anyone who's interested in screenplay writing, read it. Dippy is very much the screenplay writer here. I've gotten the opportunity to dabble a little bit in commercial and whatnot, which I'm very excited about. But Dippy knows way more than I do with his college education. I have read 2 books.
And those books are almost significant, like are significant books that I need to read at some point as well.
Dadley, I feel like one of those books would be like the dictionary.
No, legit, it's Save the Cat and A Hero of a 10,000 Faces.
Hero of 10,000 Faces.
Yeah. Which is also... Well, great book if you can get past the intro, because I started listening to it, and then the first 2 chapters is like, hey, you ever heard about the Oedipus concept? And then the book is normal.
Oh my god, wait, what?
Yeah, some reason the book starts with like a lot of heroes have the Oedipus concept, and we're gonna learn about it. And I'm like, I don't want to learn about it.
An Oedipus complex.
I don't feel okay learning about this.
See, for those of you who don't know, the Oedipus complex...
Let's talk about Vaporeon for a second.
You know, in terms of human and Pokemon compatibility, there are many options.
All right.
So, gentlemen...
I think it's wrap-up time, gentlemen, right?
Yeah, let's wrap this thing up. Do we have media picks, first and foremost? I already had mine. I saw Asteroid City and thoroughly enjoyed it. I want everybody else to see Asteroid City at some point. It's a very good addition to the Wes Anderson universe of movies. Like, I would put it number 2 Wes Anderson movie that I have seen. Like, and I've seen quite a few. I still need to see more, but yeah. Asteroid City was good enough to go up there right at number 2, just below Grand Budapest. Grand Budapest is still
so good.
Like peak Anderson at the moment.
Donna, you got media pick?
Honestly, I've just been kind of going through the motion of like everything that I usually watch and been enjoying it. So don't be afraid to like the shit that you like. That's also my my words of advice. So just keep enjoying your shit. Sorry.
My media pick I have not consumed yet because it's come out during this episode.
Oh.
I'm a massive Noah Kahan fan. Noah Kahan, one of the two. He re-released Dial Drunk with Post Malone. It just came out an hour ago, so it's literally gonna be the first thing I do when I end the stream is go listen to it. I am very excited. I love Noah Kahan. I'm a big Post Malone fan. I think they're gonna be a cool mix together. Everyone's calling it Folk Malone, which I love to pieces. So yeah, that's my media pick. Poke Malone. Yeah, if you don't know Noah Kahan, just amazing.
I got a better
singer.
one. Go check out the new Boys Like Girls songs. They released 2 new ones, and they're fucking they fucking slap.
They have. They are great. They are great songs. And my life advice is next time you have an idea for something you want to do, pester your friends about it.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this episode for since we started the Dapper Ds.
Yeah.
And tonight I was just like, you know what?
Episode.
If it's not happening tonight, it's happening next week.
Yeah, we need
decided
to
it was
do it,
happening
and
tonight.
now we've done it.
You guys, we forgot to promote freaking Saturday.
Saturday. I don't remember already.
Saturday.
We have a guest coming on
in the park.
Yeah, we have a guest coming on Saturday for Crossroads.
Yeah. So, boys. No, I don't got it.
It's
Someone else
lads.
got it. Lads.
Are
we ending or what?
Promote Saturday.
So this Saturday we have a very special guest. We're going to be doing a one-shot with the one, the only Surf Effers over on TikTok. If you know him, he is an incredible DM, TikTok and D&D creator. He has done, or he works with Offbeat Outlaw. He has made like an entire campaign based around Swamp Lands, which is dope as hell. Incredible creator. He has his fans, the Pine Cones. I'm absolutely excited to be working with him. I've been wanting to work with him for a very long time, and he's graciously given us his time to be able to play with us. And so we would love to have a little showing of people to show just how much we love him. So please show up. We love you. Sir Pfeffer's fucking awesome.
I'm Dadley.
Oh, what about my life advice?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And did Donald have life advice?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Enjoy the media that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Be unapologetic.
Don't. I guess in terms of like stuff that's been going on with me recently, don't despair if you're not finding the place that you like. Don't despair if you're not finding a place to be in life, because eventually something will work out. Yeah. I've been being told that by many people recently, and I didn't really want to believe any of them, but it's, you know, something has worked out, at least for now. So just don't be afraid of being in a place where you're not quite sure if that's where you should be, because something will work out.
Enjoy the journey, because that's all that it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm Dono.
So until then,
that's Dippy.
I've been, you know, I can be Dippy sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes he be drippy.
I'm Bradley when they pay me to be.
We're good.
And as always, until next time, stay dapper.
And your adventure matters.
Damn it, Dono.
Hey, that was like perfect. That was like perfectly insane.